Chosen one, I am looking at a quiet pattern in your life. Little by little, you are choosing comfort over the deeper calling God placed within you. I do not say this to make you tremble or imagine that you are about to be abandoned, but to awaken you before withdrawing becomes a permanent way of life. God's love for you does not change according to your performance, disappear when you become tired, or get taken away because you once moved slowly. Yet the gifts, opportunities, and responsibilities entrusted to you need to be honored through faithfulness. Something precious that remains neglected for too long will gradually gather dust. An ability that is not exercised will weaken. A door you do not enter may close when its season ends. Therefore, what I bring is not condemnation, but a call to return to what you once knew clearly. You did not receive those abilities by accident. The sensitivity that enables you to see what others often overlook. The strength that helped you remain standing through difficult seasons. The compassion that allows you to support those who have lost direction. And the voice capable of bringing hope were all formed over many years. I know the price you paid. You had to learn patience during days when no one recognized you. Trust when every outward sign seemed to say the opposite. And integrity while others chose an easier road. Those experiences were not meant to harden you. They prepared you to become someone deep enough to carry greater responsibility. Yet, after such a long season of refinement, you began believing that you had suffered enough and now possessed the right to choose a smaller life, provided that it caused less pain. I understand why you want to rest. I know the exhaustion of repeatedly rising, learning again, and confronting things that never seem to become easy. At Teams, you looked at a quiet life with fewer responsibilities and risks and wondered why you could not simply be satisfied with it. Rest is not wrong, beloved. Peace is not the enemy of purpose. I do not ask you to live in exhaustion to prove your faithfulness, nor do I call you to run continually as though busyness were the measure of your worth. Yet, there is a profound difference between resting in order to recover and withdrawing because you are afraid to continue. Rest strengthens you so that you can return to responsibility. Withdrawal uses weariness as a reason to abandon what is still calling your name. The pattern I am warning you about does not appear as obvious rebellion. It is gentle, reasonable, and easy to justify. You begin saying that you simply need to become more practical, reduce your dreams, and stop thinking about anything too great. You still use your abilities, but only at a level that does not make you uncomfortable. You continue helping others, but avoid every responsibility requiring deep commitment. You still speak about purpose, but no longer create time to fulfill it. Gradually, you build a version of life stable enough not to hurt, yet too small for your heart to feel truly alive. I do not condemn you for once seeking shelter. I only want you to recognize when the shelter has become a cage. Do not imagine that what was entrusted to you will be removed as an angry punishment. See it with greater wisdom. An unused opportunity will eventually find someone willing to act. Important work cannot remain motionless forever while waiting for someone who continually delays. A field ready for harvest needs hands willing to step forward. And if the first person invited continually turns away, another may accept the assignment. This does not remove your worth, but it may cause you to miss an experience for which you were prepared. I speak plainly because I do not want you to look back one day, not with the peace of someone who chose wisely, but with the regret of someone who knows fear was allowed to choose in their place. Look honestly at the places where you have made yourself smaller. Are you remaining in work that no longer helps you grow merely because it is familiar? Are you hiding an ability because you fear judgment if you become more visible? Have you stopped writing, learning, creating, or serving in the way that once gave you a sense of meaning? Perhaps you convinced yourself that the time had passed, when the truth is that you simply feared another disappointment. You do not need to destroy your entire present life immediately in order to prove your courage. But you must stop lying to yourself. Name clearly what you are avoiding. Because only after truth is acknowledged can you change without acting impulsively. Remember that a genuine calling does not require you to abandon responsibility, wound those you love, or rush into a poorly prepared plan. It invites you to move with maturity. If what is within you requires skill, learn. If it needs time, protect a fixed portion of your schedule. If it requires resources, create a plan and build them gradually. If you cannot yet walk the entire road, take the first step faithfully. A great purpose does not always begin with a noticeable action. Often, it begins with one quiet hour of work each day, a commitment you keep when no one checks, or a decision to stop allowing unimportant matters to consume your best energy. Do not confuse comfort with peace. Comfort says, change nothing, because change may hurt you. Peace says, you can move forward without knowing everything, because you are not moving in chaos. Comfort wants you to avoid every risk, while peace helps you distinguish wise risk from recklessness. Some choices make you tremble, while still leaving clarity within. Some roads appear completely safe while making you smaller, dissatisfied, and increasingly unfamiliar to yourself each day. Examine their long-term fruit. Does what is holding you back help you become more mature, kind, and truthful? Or does it merely prevent you from confronting your fear? I, Michael, have not come to push you into a life of display. I have come to stop you from using weariness as an excuse to bury what was planted within. You are allowed to rest, but rest as someone preparing to return, not as someone who has secretly given up. You are allowed to move slowly, but do not stop and call it wisdom. You are allowed to adjust the dream, but do not diminish it merely to fit the doubts of others. What I desire is not perfection, but a heart still willing to respond. If you return, pick up what you laid down, and begin with the most honest step. The inward current will gradually open again. Beloved, the approaching threshold is not a place where God waits to punish you. It is where you must decide whether to continue living beneath your capacity or enter the maturity for which you were prepared. No one can choose for you. You may remain where everything feels controllable and continue wondering why your heart is not fulfilled. Or you may rise, reclaim your attention, and give your finest strength to something worthy. End the retreat. Return to the promise you made when your heart was still burning brightly. Work with discipline, rest with trust, and walk with humility. What was entrusted to you does not require your exhaustion. It simply needs you to stop turning away. When you honor the gift through action, you will realize that it never disappeared. It is still there, patiently waiting for you to live widely enough for the current of goodness to move through your life again and reach those whom only you can touch in your particular way. You are still present at this moment, not merely to survive another day, but to recognize the deeper responsibility before you. The times you escaped danger, the painful seasons that seemed to consume all your strength, and the unceasing longing for a more meaningful life all remind you that your story is not over. Yet I do not want you to use this to consider yourself greater than others or believe that every event is a mysterious code. What I want to awaken is awareness. You have been given more time, experience, and opportunity to live more wisely. Therefore, do not ask only why you survived. Ask how you will use the days entrusted to you from this moment forward. Survival is not merely a privilege to preserve, it is an invitation to transform what once hurt you into wisdom, compassion, and useful action. This message has not come to flatter your pride or persuade you that you possess the right to stand above anyone. It has come to shake the procrastination that repeatedly carried you back into old patterns. You knew what needed to end, but remained because you feared loneliness. You recognized a habit that was eroding your health, but continued promising that you would change tomorrow. You sensed an ability demanding to be used, but buried it because you feared ridicule. I do not want you to treat these reminders as passing emotion and then continue scrolling through your own life. Let them force you to confront what you avoided. Are you living according to purpose or merely reacting to circumstances? Are you building the future or still allowing the past to determine every choice? Are you maturing in truth or only searching for words that make you feel comfortable briefly? You were not created for a small life in the sense of abandoning every gift, voice, and ability merely to keep others comfortable. Yet the greatness I speak of is not loud fame, power, or the feeling that you are more special than the crowd. It is the courage to break cycles that have harmed generations. It is choosing respectful communication instead of repeating the bitter words you once received. It is managing money responsibly instead of remaining in disorder. It is deciding to seek healing so that your pain is not passed to innocent people. You can transform an entire family by becoming the first person to offer a sincere apology, establish healthy boundaries, or admit the need for help. That is genuine boldness, not pursuing an extraordinary image, but faithfully doing what is right each day. You once believed you faced opposition because there was something frightening about you. But do not let that belief cause you to see every person and circumstance as an enemy. Not every delay is an attack. Not every disagreement is intended to destroy your purpose. And not every period of exhaustion carries a mysterious meaning. Some obstacles appear because you need better preparation. Some plans fail because the foundation is unstable. Sometimes your body is simply asking for rest. Discernment helps you distinguish between these things. It does not make you live in continual vigilance. If you believe everything is against you, you will gradually become isolated, lose your peace, and ignore necessary correction. I want you to be strong yet humble, sensitive without becoming suspicious of everything, and courageous without becoming reckless. Your inward sensitivity can be a gift because it enables you to notice subtle changes in an atmosphere, the emotions of others, and the disturbances within yourself. Yet this gift must be guided by truth, peace, and reason. Do not turn every dream, repeating number, or sudden feeling into a command you must follow. The mind naturally looks for patterns, especially when you are stressed or waiting for an answer. Notice what draws your attention, but then test it through reality, good values, and the counsel of trustworthy people. Right guidance does not force you to act in panic, demand that you cut everyone off, or convince you that disaster will come if you fail to obey a sign. Wisdom always gives you enough stillness to consider carefully. I know you prayed for a turning point, but sometimes the answer is not a door suddenly opening. It is a responsibility you need to accept. You ask for peace while remaining closely connected to places that continually create confusion. You pray for restored health while sacrificing sleep, ignoring unusual symptoms, and refusing support because you believe you must endure alone. You pray for financial change while postponing planning and the learning of necessary skills. I do not say this to condemn you. I am reminding you that prayer and obedience must meet through action. Some things need to be laid down, not because they are entirely evil, but because their season has ended and they no longer fit the person you are becoming. If your head feels heavy, your body is exhausted, or your sleep remains continually disturbed, do not regard these things only as information from an invisible world. Listen with practical care. Examine your work rhythm, stress level, rest, and the emotional burdens you are carrying. If the symptoms persist, interfere with daily life, or repeatedly awaken you in fear, seek professional support. This does not diminish faith. It demonstrates that you value the life you were given. You do not need to transform every sign of overload into a battle to be won through willpower. Sometimes, the most necessary obedience is to stop. Admit, truthfully, that you are not well, and allow others to carry part of the burden with you. The greatest danger is not always a dramatic event. Sometimes, it is a very slow drifting, in which you continually delay what you know is right until you no longer understand what you are living for. It is remaining in a relationship that steadily erodes your dignity because you fear beginning again. It is numbing yourself with entertainment each night while important dreams and responsibilities continue gathering dust. It is accepting a life that does not belong to you simply because it is familiar. Therefore, do not wait until everything collapses before changing. Recognize small deviations and begin correcting them today. One simple but consistent decision can save you from years spent walking in the wrong direction. If you want to use the number 777 as a reminder that you heard the calling rise within, you may write it with awareness. But do not treat that number as a key that activates blessing or a shield against danger. No symbol can replace genuine transformation. Your strongest declaration occurs when you keep your word. Care for your health. Work honestly. Leave what causes harm, and begin what you delayed. Heaven does not need you to demonstrate faith through a public gesture. What is seen most clearly is your choice when no one applauds. When you must refuse what is easy in order to preserve what is right. And when you continue walking after the first emotion has faded. Beloved, awaken, but do not live in fear. Recognize purpose, but do not nourish pride. Respect your sensitivity, but always place it beneath the guidance of peace, truth, and responsibility. You do not need to regard yourself as the target of every power in order to live strongly. You simply need to stop giving authority to fear, delay, and former patterns. I am not calling you to escape the world. I am calling you to enter it with clear eyes, hands prepared to serve, and a heart that knows what it is living for. You survived many things, but now do not merely continue surviving. Heal, prepare, act, and build. This is how you honor the time entrusted to you and enter the wider life waiting ahead. Beloved, the radiance you carried as a child never disappeared. It was simply covered beneath layers of fear, responsibility, and words that made you doubt yourself. Before the world taught you to remain guarded, you entered each day with eyes filled with wonder. You could spend hours doing something you loved without becoming tired, because your joy did not require anyone's approval. Imagination flowed naturally like clear water, unhindered by questions about whether your ideas were practical or profitable. You created worlds that had never existed, believed that something beautiful could still be made, and felt no shame in speaking about great dreams. At that time, you had not learned to make yourself smaller so that others would feel comfortable. You simply existed with all the curiosity, passion, and sincerity I had placed within you. Then the veils began descending very slowly. Someone told you to stop dreaming and become more realistic. A laugh made your thoughts feel foolish. Once, you excitedly shared something precious and received only indifference. And from then on, you learned to remain silent to avoid being hurt. Repeated disappointment taught you to lower your expectations because you believed that less hope would mean less pain. Responsibilities multiplied, while wonder was gradually placed at the bottom of the list. You began living according to what had to be done, how others expected you to behave, and the limitations called safety. There was no single day when the light disappeared. It was simply lowered little by little until you became a very cautious adult who knew how to survive but had forgotten what it felt like to live fully. I call this dimming, but do not mistake it for destruction. Clouds can cover the sun, but they cannot extinguish its fire. Judgment, failure, and years of self-doubt may cover your brightness, but they never erased what I planted deeply within you. Your creativity remains. The sensitivity that allows you to notice what others overlook is still waiting to be used. The courage that once made you believe in great things did not die. It simply withdrew into silence to be protected from hands that did not know how to honor it. The radiant child within does not need to be created again. It is waiting only for permission for you to stop condemning your difference and say that the time has come to leave hiding. This Sunday can become the moment when you give that permission, not through a mysterious ritual, but through a genuine decision. You will no longer live as though the best part of yourself was something shameful. You will reclaim time for what once made your heart shine. You will allow yourself to become curious, experiment, and create without requiring every first step to be perfect. Restoration does not begin when every circumstance changes simultaneously. It begins when you stop cooperating with the voices that made you small. You may not know where the entire journey will lead, but you can open a blank page, pick up the instrument you abandoned, write down the idea that has returned repeatedly, or dedicate one quiet hour to the project you continually say you will begin one day. I know this has already begun moving within you because the restlessness is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Outwardly, life may appear relatively stable. You may have accomplished many things you once desired, maintained important responsibilities, and built a life others believe should be enough. Yet in the hidden place, a quiet voice continues, reminding you that this is not the entirety of who you were created to become. This feeling does not necessarily mean that you must destroy everything you have or pursue a more glamorous life. It may indicate that an ability, creativity, or purpose within you has not received sufficient space. Do not numb that restlessness with busyness, distraction, or continual comparison. Sit beside it and ask, what is trying to be born through your life? Yet you must also treat restlessness with wisdom. Not every uneasiness is a call to transform your whole life. Sometimes you are simply exhausted and need rest, healing, or the adjustment of certain habits. Therefore, do not act hastily. Observe what continues returning after you have rested, after temporary emotions settle, and after external noise becomes quiet. A genuine calling does not always shout, but it is persist. It does not make you despise what you already possess. It helps you see how to use what you have more fully. It does not drive you into chaos, but gradually leads toward clarity, responsibility, and deeper joy. The next sign is found in the brief moments when the fog suddenly lifts. For a short time, you unexpectedly think clearly, see a solution, write what previously felt blocked, or recognize the exact step you need to take. For those few minutes, everything seems to move as naturally as it did when you were a child. Then clarity fades again, and you wonder whether you merely imagined it. Yet those moments matter. They are like a door opening slightly so that you can glimpse what becomes possible when fear no longer occupies the whole mind. I do not give you these glimpses to torment you with what you cannot preserve. I use them to remind you that the ability remains alive and can be nourished through stillness, discipline, and your regular return to the work. Do not merely wait for inspiration to arrive and disappear. Create a place where it can remain longer. Reduce noise. Sleep sufficiently. Protect focused hours. And stop giving all your best energy to demands that are not your responsibility. When a clear idea arrives, record it. When you sense a direction, test it through one small step instead of only thinking about it. Talent is not restored by remembering that you once possessed it. It becomes alive through use. Each day, you give even a little time to what you were created to do. The fog will become thinner. You do not need to wait until the light has completely returned before beginning. Beginning is what makes the light more stable. There is also the quiet pain you experience when you see someone else living boldly within something you know you are also called to do. You may call it jealousy and immediately feel ashamed. But sometimes it is simply recognition. Their life touches an unbuilt design within you and causes it to vibrate. Your pain does not necessarily mean that you want to take what they possess. You hurt because you are seeing an image of a part of your own life you have not yet dared to live. Do not use this feeling to diminish them or condemn yourself. Turn it into a question. What about their success is reminding you of your own ability? What freedom, courage, or use of talent is awakening something you have delayed? You are not too late merely because another person began first. Their journey is not evidence that your opportunity has disappeared. It can become a reminder that the possibility still exists. Bless the light within them. Then return to building what has been entrusted to you. Do not copy their outward form. Discover the essence of your own calling. You do not need to become a second version of anyone. What I placed within you possesses its own color, rhythm, and form of service. Comparison makes you either proud or ashamed, while right recognition enables you to learn while remaining faithful to your own design. Beloved, the entire secret is this. I am not asking you to become a stranger. You are not beginning from emptiness. and you do not need to reinvent your value. What is happening is restoration. You are removing the layers that covered you, returning a voice to the part that was forced into silence, and bringing light into rooms once occupied by fear. The restlessness, moments of clarity, and pain you feel when watching others live within their calling do not prove that you are broken. They reveal that something genuine is moving beneath the old shell and refusing to remain buried. Therefore, this Sunday, create a place for that radiant person to return. Do one thing simply because it makes you feel alive and close to your genuine nature. But do not turn freedom into irresponsibility. Create, write, learn, build, or try again what you once abandoned. Do not demand immediate achievement from it. A child at play does not ask whether joy is valuable enough to justify the activity. The child acts because the life within needs expression. Learn that purity again while carrying the wisdom of an adult. The light never left you. It is waiting for you to open the door. Step out of the dimness and allow what I placed within you to breathe, grow, and shine once more.